So when you're ready to build your actual container, okay, so hopefully you have all of your pieces made, you did whatever decorations you needed to prior to putting it all together, you'll be able to start. With this, depending on your design, one way might work better than another, but we'll kind of start with this, and then if there's a different technique that would work better for you, we can kind of talk about that one-on-one. But I think for the most part, the designs you all have, you have, one piece that's more like a focal point where it's, a fun shape, and then everything else, your side walls are all kind of these skinny rectangles. Those of you making more of a traditional box, you would do this essentially the same way. So you'll just kind of pick a side. Okay, but I'm gonna take my front. So this is, my front piece. So when it's standing up, it's standing like this, and then all my other sides fit along like that. Okay, so I'm gonna take my front. Okay, I'm gonna lay it flat on my board. Okay, so you should be working on top of your board at this point. So when you're constructing, work on top of your board. Otherwise, when you try to lift it, you might accidentally break it. Okay, but you'll have your piece. Okay, then you're gonna find and pick one of your sides. So I'm just gonna deal with this side. So this wall is going to be sitting on top like that. Okay. So, like always, whenever you're attaching clay to clay, you are going to score both things. So I'm scoring the bottom, and then I'm scoring my edge that is going to be connected. Okay. And then I'm going to add my slip. Okay. If you run out of slip, or if your slip is dry, I know it's been a little bit since we've used it, you can get slip from the sink. Okay, so make sure you got slip. Okay. So I added slip. Okay, and I'm taking my piece and I am just putting it directly on top. Okay, so I'm not putting it off to the side. I'm putting it directly on top. Okay, so I'm building up that wall. Okay, so I'm going to apply a little bit of pressure and give it a little shimmy shimmy, just so it really sticks. So let's see. So you can see, okay, that's how it's attached. So it's sitting directly, so this side piece is sitting directly on that fun shape. Okay. So from there, I'll go in and I'll kind of blend and smooth. Okay, so the goal is to not have your seams visible. Okay, so I'll start with the outside, and I'm just using my finger, kind of blending that seam, any slip that kind of escaped out. Okay, just blending it in. Okay, on the inside, same thing. Okay, I'm gonna support. Remember to always support. Okay, and I'm just running my finger in that little crease. Okay. What I like to do is I like to add little band-aids of clay whenever I can for the container. So the band-aids of clay, okay, just a little coil. Okay. Let's see how well we can finagle this on. There we go. Okay. All right, so I have my seam in here. Okay. What I can do is I can add a little bit of slip in here, just a little bit. Okay. Then that coil, I'm gonna just put it in that crease, and then using a clay tool, I can kind of smush it in. So like I said, it's like a Band-Aid. All right, so I'm just adding a little bit of clay into there just as added support, essentially. Okay. When you do this, remember to support from the outside. Support from the outside. And if you don't, then you're going to end up messing up your side piece, okay, as you kind of build. Okay, so it's nothing super kooky, crazy, just a little bit in there just to fill it in and give it that extra strength, extra support. Okay. So you should be able to do this for most of your walls, okay? Obviously, your last wall that you put up, you won't be able to do that because then you'll have a completely enclosed box. But once we open it up to get a lid, most times if you have a lid that's like this, okay, where the whole top kind of comes off, you'll be able to go in and do that seam. Okay. If not, if you have more of a smaller lid opening, okay, don't worry about it. You should be fine having that one seam that doesn't have an extra little band-aid. All right, so questions on that? All right, so from here, I'll be able to add my next wall. Okay, so with this, because you're dealing with clay and clay has that thickness to it, okay, this, side to side kind of fit perfectly. But because I have this added thickness, when I go to add this on top, okay, it's going to be a little bit longer than my side, which is okay. It's better to have your sides too long than too short, okay? So what I'll do is I'll attach it kind of the same exact way. So score, add my slip, okay? I'm also going to score and add slip to the areas where my new walls are going to be touching. So not only am I scoring and slipping the bottom part, I'm also going to slip and score those side edges. Because whenever you have clay attaching clay to clay, you always want to make sure you score and slip those areas. Okay. So did that. Press, press, press. Okay, attach. Okay. I can start to blend a little bit on one side. Okay. From the inside here, I can do the same thing. So this bottom part and this new side one, I can do the little coils, blendy blend, okay? And then you can see that this is just a little bit longer. So I can use my fettling knife, and this is where I really suggest using the fettling knife, okay? I can just go and trim it down a little bit so everything matches up well. Okay? If you start to see that your other walls aren't matching up, don't worry about it till the end. Okay? Just build, build, build. That top part, we can shave off any unevenness later once all of your walls, your kind of vertical walls this way, are in place. Okay. So questions on that? Okay, so you go just all the way around. Okay, add your walls, all the way around. Okay, and then once you have all of your walls built, going that way, that's when you would do your other piece. Okay, and that is just going to sit right on top like that. Okay, so right now my clay is really wet, okay? So it's very floppy in the middle. Okay, so this is why, you know, making sure you have all your slabs done ahead of time goes into play. Because once this dries a little bit, okay, it's going to be firmer, it's going to be stiffer, and it's not going to bend or bellow in the middle. Okay, so questions on attaching? Okay. So those of you that have curved sides, okay, you know, that is still going to be that long rectangle, okay, and you're just going to follow that curve as you kind of go along. Okay. Good? Okay. Writing your name. Okay, so you should always write your name. So I would, maybe when you're doing all your, you know, design stuff, whatever your bottom piece is, hey, I would just, you know, carve your name on the bottom. We can carve it later on once your box is completely made, but if you want to do that ahead of time, you can do that as well. Okay. Good? Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So lids, we will work on once containers are made. If you're adding feet, okay, to the bottom, feet will be added after your containers are made. Okay, so don't worry about feet, don't worry about lids yet. We'll get to that when it's time. For now, it's just a matter of, you know, doing whatever your surface decoration is. If you're doing carving, okay, or kind of not super crazy intricate applique, you can do that first, then build your walls. Okay, if you're doing more intricate applique, build first, then do your applique. Okay. Questions, comments, concerns?